Alright, welcome to episode 1, Wasted Wisdom. I'm Wasted, he's Wisdom. I'm Jason, he's Mark.
Wait, whether you're wisdom and I'm wasted, or does it really matter?
I think we can alternate it, because like some of the times we're both going to be wasted.
I
Some of the times probably going to be Wisdom. And then otherwise one of us will be wasted.
Or we'll just both be wisdom, I don't know.
Or we will kind of just both be wasted and wisdom, because like why would the wisdom stop just because we're wasted?
Exactly, I think you have
Yeah.
more wisdom when you're wasted.
Good fucking point.
You would have been wasting all this time on this intro.
Nah, first joke. Great.
Wow.
Alright, so basically on this podcast we talk about like advice stuff, life stuff, spiritual stuff, philosophical stuff.
And we'll answer your questions.
I'll answer questions, right? But today we're talking about Pendleton Ward's new show, Midnight Gospel. Came on 420. Happy 420 to everybody. Happy belated 420, I should say. Yeah. I hope your 420 was fun and that my voice doesn't sound monotonous as shit. I'm now very self-conscious about myself. But yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. But yeah, dude. Yeah, I love the show. And it reminded me a lot of like Comedy Central. You said Comedy Central, Tales from the Trip stuff, right?
What's that?
Basically, Comedy Central has a YouTube channel, and they'll do these Tales from the Trip episodes where comedians will come on and they'll talk about like the DMT trip or a ketamine trip or a shrooms trip or a weed trip.
I never saw one of those before.
I'll link you on that one.
That's good.
But they're cool. But yeah, and when you see it, it's like very similar to Midnight Gospel, minus the like deep storyline.
Oh, okay.
Right, but actually, funnily enough, it's because of Midnight Gospel, and they're kind of like basically the guy Clancy. If you don't know, the main character Clancy, he will.
By the way, disclaimer, guys. Disclaimer. Spoiler alert. If you never watched it before.
Shit. Right. Yeah. Can you imagine if I just started talking? Yeah, so like he dies in the end. He doesn't die.
Or does he?
You're right. Or you don't know. But anyway, so yeah, basically, main character of Clancy. So the main character Clancy, I don't know what the fuck he is. He's some kind of humanoid creature. He's from Earth supposedly, but he's purple or some shit. He will travel into different dimensions and crash land on planets and talk to people there. And it's like, hey, you want to do an episode of my podcast? And then they just start talking about some spiritual shit like meditation, or death again, or that there is no self and shit like that. And I don't know, dog. I was not expecting that. I was not expecting it so quick out of the gate. I was just like, what in the fuck am I watching? Like, I'm high and I'm watching this shit and I'm just like, these niggas doing a podcast on a fucking animated series right now? I was like, wow. Well, it's official. We need to start this podcast, Mark.
Yeah, definitely. And I really love the rawness of his podcasts, because he allowed whoever he was interviewing to just literally just share. Just share, and then he would go home and then make music from whatever they had said. Like some psychedelic tripping kind of music.
Yeah.
Like with words repeating and shit.
Yeah, like he basically would like sample what them said and then like put a beat to it.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
I love the future.
Is that the future of music?
I guess.
Do you think we're already there?
Well, from what I remember, there was that one episode where he like took like the the song maker app and just like double clicked on it and then dragged it over onto the audio track and then just started to make the song. I was like, yeah, dude, like that's the future of production.
I think
so. Metro Boomin is just like,
I think
I
think his production is like Londrell on acid. Don't know if you know the artist Londrell.
That name sounds hella
familiar.
familiar.
Big up Londrell still. Okay. Good artist. I think I'm going to put you on to him. You're really going to love his stuff.
Okay. He's like a soul guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's like I don't know if you remember that Kendrick Lamar song, and they do a lot of talking in the song.
That's many. That's literally like,
it's not like rapping; he's just literally just talking. So it's similar to that, and like talking words of wisdom and stuff.
Is it I like with I? Like,
yeah, like with I. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. What album was this? To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah, To Pimp a Butterfly.
Okay. Yeah, I probably know what you're talking about.
But his whole music, that's literally what he does, like words of affirmation and speaking about.
Oh my God! Of course I know who you're talking about. Yes, dog. Yeah. You sent me his shit before. Yeah, man.
Before, and I was like, yo, this is good to start your day with.
For real. Yes, of course I know this guy. Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. Well, all right. Let me ask you this: what was your favorite episode of Midnight Gospel?
That's a very hard question. Let me just center myself and like really feel the one that spoke to me most based upon what I'm going through right now.
Okay.
And I think if I should really be into myself, it's the one about forgiveness.
You know what's funny? I completely forgot about that one. I don't know what that says about me, but anyway.
Probably you have forgiveness down pat. I don't know.
Dog, yo, I have that down pat to the point where I can't stand myself. Forgiving all these fucking people. Like.
Yeah, well, for me, it really stood out because I'm like, yo, like literally kill them with love. Literally.
What was the thing that was happening? Oh, also,
sorry.
One of the things that happens in the show.
Not COVID, guys.
Oh yeah. Fuck. Where's your mask, dog? Mask on. Fucking mask off. But yeah, one of the things that happens in the show, and this was actually one of the critiques I had for the first few episodes I had watched. It was just that while they're saying some like really deep things, the stuff that's happening in the background is so unrelated to what's happening.
At times.
Right. But in the latter episodes, they take care of that. Yeah. And it's not distracting at all. So
I remember when you started watching, I was like, continue watching. Yeah. And you'll see where they actually line up after a while.
Yeah.
So yeah, that episode spoke to me because alright, so let's talk about what was happening in the background. So in the background, she was basically trying to save her boyfriend.
Oh yeah.
She was trying to save her boyfriend. I don't even know why she showed up at the tavern at the time. Because she came to the tavern while Clancy was having an argument with this weird looking creature. Yo, by the way, I don't know why this guy draws all his people so weird. Yeah. It's like it's almost like a 5-year-old that has seen death.
Yo, how old is Pendleton? We're like 40 something. I don't even know. It's all I mean, that's for sure.
It's so crazy. But yeah, anyway, she saves him by shooting a love arrow.
Yeah.
At the guy. It's like, I love you. And then the guy dies.
Yeah. Like he disintegrates.
Yeah, it's like, what? This is so cool. And then he follows her on her quest to save her boyfriend. But at the time, you wouldn't even know that that's what she was doing. That she was doing like a whole heap of random shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like going to the witch to get a potion to trade off some kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
but then she had to get the kid in the first
place,
place, but then got a decoy kid that we never saw.
Exactly.
This whole thing, yeah.
This is weird. A kid with a bomb head.
Yeah, that was a decoy. It was an actual kid.
You're right. And then the actual kid was in the bag.
Yeah, like, you know, like in the motorbike, you have like the little part where you can lift up.
Yeah,
like the kid was in there.
But it wasn't a bike; it was a horse. So that was kind of weird.
Yeah, a bike horse.
A bike horse.
Horse bike
with like an extendable tail.
Yeah, I remember more than me, dog. Shit, I forgot all about it.
It was so trippy. So I have like, what the fuck is this?
Okay.
Yeah.
What happened next? What? So basically, what happened was yo, honestly, the dude or chick, I don't remember. It's like, if you watched Powerpuff Girls, you remember him from Powerpuff Girls? The motherfucker who had her boyfriend basically was a lot like him.
Yeah.
Except not red. Same kind of voice.
A demon ass.
Yeah. And have a batty hole that is like some kind of piranha.
Like a vortex. Like some animal that, I don't know if you guys remember that movie, Teeth.
Bumbuckle.
Yeah. So it's like the opposite, in the back end.
Yeah, or the same in the back end. Whatever. Yeah. And so basically, he or she, I don't know what is the gender. Let me not assume the gender of that person. But that human, that person was just like, oh yes, I'm going to go and fuck up your shit or some shit, and then the kid's dead, right? The boyfriend is dead, but through the power of love, this sounds so cheesy, I'm sorry, but through the power of love, she not only gets rid of the person, she resuscitates the boyfriend, and then, oh yeah, my boyfriend, and then they're back together and they're in love.
And then like, I don't know, some like nuclear weapon get released onto the guy's ass.
Yeah.
And like destroys the entire world.
Right, and then Clancy, as he does in every single episode, blows
his horn, and the third eye becomes open, and then he's just like teleported back to his world.
Can I be honest with you? I never realized that it was his third eye that opened.
Oh,
that's so embarrassing. That's so embarrassing. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, the eye opened. Right. Oh, it's his. Oh, that's how did I not see that? Yo, nigga, don't smoke. All right.
I was smoking when I was watching it too. So
right. Sorry, Jason, don't smoke. When you listen to this later, please just take my advice. Okay. But yeah, so that's pretty much that. And then basically, yeah, and then he came back, and then it was that was episode what, 3 or 4? No, man, I think it's 4.
I think it was episode 4, you know. Yeah, because the one before it was about death.
Yeah. The first one was about meditation.
Right, so it's episode 4, right? Blinded by my end.
Okay, yeah. I think my favorite one was, it had to be the one with the bird. The bird's name is Jason. I know that sounds really egotistical.
Yes, it does.
I'm sorry, all right? I'm still learning, guys. I'm still trying to like evolve, right? But it was basically about understanding. Was that the one about the no self thing? Yeah. Right. Yeah, that was the one about the no self.
Yeah, like understanding ego death, understanding enlightenment, and learning that enlightenment is not like the final stage. You understand? And it's funny, you know, because even though I loved that episode on forgiveness and everything, I really like that episode as well, with the bird, and I watched it like 3 times.
Really?
Yeah, man, I watched it like 3 times. Jesus Christ! Because it was really deep, and I didn't want to miss anything, because I was like, all right, let me watch what's happening in the background, and then let me hear what they're saying. Because even if you realize, we didn't even talk about what the knight was saying in Blinded by My End, season episode 4.
The knight.
Yeah, she was a knight.
Oh right, sorry, I thought you were talking about someone. Oh yeah, she was
we didn't even talk about what they were saying. But basically, what she was saying, guys, is like, yo, um, the only thing that can save the world is love and forgiveness, and how it's important to let go of hatred and anger, because it's like a heavy dead weight in your life, and you're more powerful when you. I'm laughing because there was like in the last scene where she was like, "Forgiveness." It's like, yeah, and like Super Saiyan powered up, and then like her weapons got bigger. All of these things, that's so cool.
Honestly, like I don't know what it is.
That's so cool.
I think it's weird. That's probably. I mean, I did like that episode, and I think it was one of the funniest ones.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I guess I overlooked it because it's like that's one of the things that I kind of had to master like pretty early in life. So it was easy for me to kind of be like, yeah, man, I agree with everything that she's saying. I get everything that she's saying, and yeah, it has helped me tremendously because I know like I personally can't really live very comfortably when I have like a shitload of resentment. That doesn't mean that I don't get angry. It doesn't mean that I don't like want like slit some people fucking throat sometimes, but like it doesn't really help me in any way.
In any way.
So
and you know, in a strange way, all of the episodes are like intertwined, because it was kind of reiterated in the episode that you like, where he was like, yo, the only way to get over anything is to let go and dwell in hopelessness.
Right. All right. Let's talk about that episode now, because I love that one because that is the challenge that I kind of have in my life right now. So like some years ago, I didn't tell you this, but I actually had experienced that ego death quote unquote thing. It didn't last, and it doesn't last. It's just basically seeing through the veil, and it's like once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's almost like, all right. Basically, I'll tell you what happened to me. So basically, for some reason, something I had read kind of had just basically said to me like, "Yo, you know you don't actually exist, right?" And I'm like, what the fuck does this mean? So basically, I just tried to kind of understand what they were trying to say. So I continued to read some of what they were saying, and they were basically saying like, yo, you see the whole concept of you, the notion of you, this mental idol that you have, that you exist, it's unnecessary, because it's not like you. As a matter of fact, it's unnecessary, but you think it's integral to life. Like if you said that you didn't exist, you swear that you'd probably just die immediately, which is bullshit, because that is not what's keeping you alive, and nor is it you, and nor does it even exist. So when I had that experience, and it just kind of clicked. It was like, oh my fucking god! And I was like freaking out, dude. I was like, holy shit! And I was like, I remember I was in my room, like I got up and I was just like walking up and down like the hallway. I was just like in disbelief, but unfortunately, then the illusion collapsed right back on me. And then I would spend a couple of years using effort to try and get back to that place, which doesn't work. You can't use effort to get there. Right?
It's a letting go, not a fighting.
Yeah, it's not a it's not. I guess so going to the episode now. Basically, what's happening is that he comes to his prison planet. Clancy comes to this prison planet, and there are these birds, these soul birds that are attached to every inmate. So Crash lands on.
Or soul creatures.
The soul creatures?
Yeah, man, because one had worm, one had a worm, one had a bug, another one had a butterfly.
Ratchet. Yo, clearly I do not pay attention to detail. Sorry, I thought they were all birds. My bad.
Man, they were like different creatures.
Okay. Alright, so I have the soul creatures, and then right, so then Clancy Crash lands, talks to the bird. He can't talk to the prisoner. Because the prisoner's tongues have all been cut out. Right? So basically, he talks to the bird, and the bird is like pretty like sardonic, which I found to be just like really funny. And he's just like he's speaking very matter of factly, like, yo, this dude, listen, here's the thing, right? He made some fuckery, and the guy's gonna come and he's gonna shoot him. And however long it takes for him to understand that as long as you're trying to get out of this situation and get out of this prison, is the more you're gonna be in this prison. And that was what like clicked everything for me. It was just like, dog, stop trying to escape where you are. That's the problem. So even if you want to get back to that experience of the no self experience or whatever, you need to understand you're trying to escape where you are. That's why you're stuck. And I was like, fuck. Of course that's the problem, dog. That's like every single problem I have in my life. I'm just trying to escape shit. When in reality is like, dog, I understand. Let's face it, right? You're trying to escape it because there's pain in there. You're trying to escape because you're suffering. So it's not to say like it's some kind of like, oh my god, like, oh, I should never have tried to leave. No, of course you're going to try to leave. You just need to realize it doesn't work. And as a matter of fact, it's kind of like, all right, so we use these lapel mics, right, for the podcast. And I was trying to unravel the cords because some of them were kind of tangled up. But if I were to try and use effort, like, yo, get it out, I guarantee you, I'd be super frustrated.
Probably rip it apart.
Or have it more bungled up, right? But it's only by just being like, yo, honestly, yeah, them tangles. Let me just take my time. You take your time, and then everything works out.
Right. So it's not that
you want this water?
Yeah, cool. Thank you so much. So it's not that you're saying, yo, don't try, but do everything in balance.
Yeah. And there's some things that you will try to do that have nothing to do with you and they're not your responsibility. But because you're so gun-ho on trying to get out of it, you're doing the most. And you're not in control of that. And then you really start to lose perspective.
I agree. And what I want to like draw a reference to is that last episode with his mom. His mom said the same thing.
I love that
one
episode.
of our biggest problems is that we're trying to avoid the pain.
Yeah, I love that episode.
Listen, I watched the episode 3 times as well. I cried.
I cried.
I cried at the last part because when she said when she was dying, or when she was like fading away, and I don't remember the question he asked. I think it's a question about pain. Like he was like, "Yo, is it going to hurt, or does it always hurt?" Right? He's like, "Does it always hurt?" And she's like, "No." So she said, "No, it doesn't always hurt, but in the beginning it does." And it's like, you have to go through that hurt first.
Yeah.
And then when you go through that hurt, that's when you realize it's not really pain, it's love.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit.
Which makes a lot of sense because like it's kind of like when you have a little kid, right? If you have a child and he scrapes his knee, you're not gonna just like fling on some Savlon and be like, "You'll get better." You know what I mean? You're gonna have to sit with the kid. The kid's gonna cry. It's okay. Let the kid cry.
You have to hurt. The hurt is a part of life, you know.
Yeah.
And you just feel the hurt, work through it, and then you'll be okay.
Yeah. But then it leads me to that thing we were talking about right before the podcast started. The dude's name is Clancy, but she called him Duncan. And I'm like, why did she do that?
I don't know.
But is the dude who does the voice of Clancy for the show named Duncan? Is that why? I can't remember.
Maybe, but what I was saying though is there was a part in the whole thing where it's like you could see the writers.
Yeah, in the booth.
Yeah, in the booth.
Dog, that was like, yo, this is like
so cool.
Yo, these niggas is fucking me up right now. Like,
that was really cool.
Honestly.
So I'm wondering if it was like them talking to themselves.
Well, To be honest, that's kind of the impression that I got because I would look up. So like when you see the title card, like Midnight Gospel with, and you see the name at the bottom, I would sometimes look up who these people are, and they're like some kind of practitioner or whatever, right? Or some kind of spiritual whatever, and I'm like, okay, cool. All right, so they have their little thing. They do their we're at a workshop or they retreat or whatever, and they come on and they talk to Clancy or whoever is voicing Clancy. So I'm like, all right, that's cool. So I'm thinking, yeah, it is a conversation because let's face it is a podcast. But that's why when you and I were talking earlier in the week, it was like, is this scripted or is it or what is scripted?
Yeah.
Are they because they must have scripted the animation in the background, but at the same time, like, did they script the dialogue?
Yeah, the dialogue sounds so free flowing.
It's on too free flowing, dog. And these are not actors.
And these are not actors either. So it's like you're wondering, are they just having a conversation? Or it's so cool.
Yeah. But then the same one where with the bird and then the guy the prisoner who's constantly trying to escape, he's just like the bird is like, he's never gonna get it, right?
Yeah, he's never
and it's like he said it so well, like so matter of factly that it was just like this part is scripted, right? This part is scripted because how the fuck would he just say it? It was weird.
Yeah, it's really cool, bro. It's really cool. And even in the last episode with the mom, where they were talking about nipple suckers, or
Oh yeah, right.
And,
can we just call them babies?
And how conditioning, because we were talking about classic conditioning and nature versus nurture, and how basically we're like the dogs when they get hurt every day, and then you try to give them food and they just can't help it but be aggressive towards you, even though you're feeding them. And it's just like us as humans, where we get so used to being ill treated that we get upset or lash out at anybody who is actually trying to help us. And I was like, yo, that resonate with me.
Fucking hell, dog.
Resonate with me. She was like, yo,
so real.
The mark of a man, or the mark of human beings, is to really recognize their conditioning and work on it.
Yeah. It's funny that you said that because like I didn't even make that connection because as you know, Mark, my cat got spayed last week,
Right.
and I will put on her little like gentian violet or whatever the fuck that thing's called.
Purple lotion.
Yeah, the purple lotion, and you have to like clean it first with Dettol or Savlon, like diluted or whatever, or salt water or whatever. And she'll fight me and she'll bite me and she'll back to my hand and all this other shit and she'll kick me away and then run away and all these other shits. But it's like she don't really get I'm trying to help her. I don't want her to go outside and get an infection. Then we have to go back to the vet. Right? I'm just trying to help you. But she don't really see it that way. And she tried like lick it and I'm like, no, I need to go get that's another thing. I should have just gotten that fucking e-collar. I completely spaced. I should have just gotten it. I have to like make some other shit and she kick it off anyway, but whatever.
We are a people that love comfort.
Yeah.
It's in our nature. And so anything that hurts is seen as a bad thing. And it's not just people, animals do it too. Anything that feels out of place or uncomfortable, they react.
Which makes sense.
Exactly. Naturally, you would react.
Yeah. Because I remember, like, when you're like in prep school or primary school or whatever the fuck, you get a cut. You got a nurse, and she dress it. That shit stings, dog. But then you're an adult. You do it for yourself if you do. Or in these times, you have a cut on your hand and you don't know. You put on some hand sanitizer and your hand burn up and it's like, what the fuck? And it's like, oh yeah, right. I have a cut on my hand and I now know that. Great. It's like you just bear the pain because it's like it's not gonna last. And I think that's another thing. Like we think the pain is like permanent, but it's not. It can be, but it can be permanent if you resist it. That's the funny thing. That's the funny thing.
Yeah. And let's talk about how coming close to death is when you appreciate life.
Yeah, that fucked me up too. I didn't like that.
I never minded. I never minded because, again, remember we had that discussion about all our near-death experiences. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah.
And I told you since that day, I've been living my life a little bit differently.
You want to share that?
Well, I can. So.
I'll share mine after.
So basically, what happened was I was in the gym working out with friends, and I dislocated my knee while stretching. Later, going to the doctor, I found out that I ruptured a ligament that was used to hold a patella in place. So, I opted to do surgery, and surgery was delayed for a bit because when I don't know, whenever I go to the hospital, I always get hypertension. So I went to the hospital and they basically said I wasn't fit for surgery as yet. And then they prepped me for the next day for surgery.
Wait, this was elective surgery? Like you had an option to not do it?
Well, to be honest, they said I had an option not to do it, but then the ligament is gone, so I definitely get a dislocation again.
Oh, okay.
So I did the surgery. While in the surgery, what happened was I started to lose a lot of blood, and they had to put what is called a tourniquet on my leg. Um, the near death part comes in when I woke up in the middle of surgery, and then apparently they sedated me again while I was losing blood.
You woke up in the bumper. Okay.
Right? And then I woke up later on again after all of the chaos, just to be told that they almost lost me, and that I lost a lot of blood from my leg, hence why it's numb and I can't move it. It was like partially paralyzed for a few months.
I didn't know that long.
Yeah, for a few months it was partially paralyzed.
That's crazy.
Because it was losing so much blood. They thought, oh my god, he's going to die. He is going to die. But then thankfully, I survived. And after waking up and being told that, I was like, definitely have to make some changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was very, very scary. Imagine waking up feeling like you're in an episode of Resident Evil. You see no one. You're cold. Your balls hanging out. Out you going. You want to pee. And you're like, what the hell is happening here? And then you think you're going to get some help. All the doctor said is
press X.
Just press X.
I remember what it does. Maybe yeah, I got you. Yeah, that will like those type of things. Like if you wake, like so basically you wake up, you get told, oh yeah, you know, say you're almost dead, dog. I was like, oh, what? Yeah. So I don't know. It will do something to you. My experience wasn't quite like that one. It was almost I don't know what to say, but it was kind of like the opposite in a way, except not really. Basically, it was just roughhousing that just went too far, and it was weird because I don't want to. I don't know if I want to say foolishly or wisely. I don't know. I was like saying to myself, you know what will really make me understand life? A near-death experience. Be very careful what you wish for, okay? Because you might just get it, and that's literally what happened. So basically, I was losing air, and they didn't realize I was losing air, and I kind of just like saw my body collapse, and then things went black, and then I saw like binary in a computer font, orange computer font. I'm like, is this like my serial number or some shit? What the fuck is this shit? And I don't know. Like I woke, like no, basically it was like, oh, I get the option to like, oh yeah, so you can dead or you can continue to live if you want. And I'm just like, you know what? If I die, it's going to be really shitty on everyone that's here and kind of incriminating. So I'll go back. But I was happy. And then basically it was just like, all right, you know what? Fuck it. I'll go back. And I came back and I was just laughing and laughing and laughing and I could not stop laughing. And it was just like, yeah, you know what? I get it. If I can't breathe, all the things that I'm running down trying to get won't matter if I can't breathe and I'm not conscious. So maybe the quality of life is more important than like necessarily the quality of life, if you get what I mean, like the stuff. So yeah, we're gonna pause for a second. We're not gonna cry. I know that's what you're thinking, but that's not what it is. All right, just give us 1 second. Thank you. All right, guys, we're back. You don't want to know how much time has passed, but don't worry about that. Right. So the next thing we wanted to talk about was basically Clancy's behavior throughout the show, because his behavior is very telling. Kind of like when you get advice and it's not unsolicited, but it's something that you value. But when the time comes for you to actually use it, it's like, and you kind of just fall back on your old habits. Because I think you and I both know people who kind of fall into this category. Right? I know I definitely do fall into this category, not as much as maybe in the past. Fortunately, I'm a little more self-aware. But you want to speak to that, Mark?
Well, for me, I think I somewhat exhibit that trait with certain things in life, but as it pertains to being more self-aware, I think that's one of my strong suits. So when I do get a lesson, it's not that it flies over my head or I don't let it just pass by or just treat it as, oh yeah man, that's something that this person said and it was good, and then move on. Whereas Clancy, aka Duncan,
Right.
he got a lot of gems, a lot of like crash course in magic and meditation and basically existentialism. And then after getting all of those crash courses and learning all those things, went back to quote unquote reality
And fucker behaviors.
and shit behavior. You understand? And fucking off him sister. Basically, you know what I mean? Telling her that, yo, basically, as a matter of fact, he didn't even speak to her.
Yeah, I never have time for her.
Yeah, I never have time for her. And then, you know, that's why the last episode to me was important, because I think that's where he really would have learned that, hey, this shit is important. Yeah. And it's kind of like, for me, like when people will come to me for advice or whatever, right?
I always feel very uncomfortable about it because one or two things is gonna happen. They're either uncomfortable, relatively speaking. But yeah, one or two things is gonna happen. They're either going to hear what I say and don't do it, or B, don't do it, but then eventually do it and then say, yo, all I did was this thing. And then I'm like, yeah, but I actually told you about that. Oh, you did? Yeah, you don't remember this time at X place and Right, it is true. And I'm guilty of this very same thing where it's like, yo, I'm so smart. I figured that out all on my own. No, I didn't actually. Someone told me that, or I read it somewhere sometime before, or it was in this YouTube video or something, right? And basically what was happening with Clancy in the show was that his computer was malfunctioning, and his computer is very interactive. So he's telling Clancy, yo, you need to get that oil thing or whatever the fuck it is.
It need to be serviced.
Right. And he's just like, yeah, just send me to this place quick, right? He's procrastinating. He's trying to get his podcast numbers up. That's his focus. He's going to these different worlds and he's having these great interactions and he's seeing all these crazy things. But what is happening locally is falling apart. And then he only changes his behavior once everything falls apart, which is a hella fucking human thing to happen. I will have to admit. And we always resist that. We resist that change, but at the same time, it's like I don't know, man. It's truly uncomfortable, right? And when you're in the midst of it, it's like the world's coming to an end. It's basically a pandemic, right? And as a result, you just feel like you don't want it anything. You want to give up, even though you are the reason you're in this mess in the first place, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to embrace what is and try and do something different, as if you had another friggin' choice, friend. But again, I'm really talking about myself here. And then you just get to a point where things change and it's like, oh, I'm so thankful I had that experience that I caused on myself in the first place. Oh, hallelujah. It's really annoying. Like, when I see it, it's annoying. When I do it, it's annoying. When I saw it in the show, I was like, it's annoying. It's still annoying. Go ahead, Mark. I'm annoyed now.
Yeah. I think especially episode 6 where he did the meditation with the guy and it's like, oh, yo, I realized that I haven't been good to my sister and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And then he was like, well, now I'm enlightened. And then the meditation coach said to him, like, so what does it really mean to be enlightened? How do you know? How do you feel? And it's like, well, let's cut to a commercial. That's really and truly, no one has the answer to that. You know what I mean? Not really. Because is it just a feeling or is it a state of being?
Is there a difference between a state of being and feeling?
You understand?
Because you're feeling the beingness, right?
You know what I mean?
I mean, it's interesting because, like, I feel the term enlightenment, and I've heard this said before, where it was basically like, once upon a time, that was like a decent term to describe the experience of, like, whatever ascension, whatever the shit, right? Depending on what you want to think enlightenment is, whether it's understanding how to manifest, or understanding that there is no self, or that all there is love, or that you are eternal, or something like that, right? Whatever it is. I don't really know. It all depends on you. But enlightened is like, it kind of took on this connotation of guy in briefs meditating in the Himalayas and just going and having some followers or some shit in some dirty ass monastery that have to clean it with toothbrushes and shit. That became the picture of what enlightenment was. And then it's kind of like, well, but I'm not that, and I'm not doing that. So then basically it's like, am I really enlightened? Because I'm not doing this
Yeah,
shit.
doing that shit.
So now I think the term that people tend to use is like awakened, which
Right.
I feel is a little better because I don't have a picture of what that means. That could be more. That's more open ended.
Yeah, but it's funny they did address that topic in episode 6.
Okay.
Because a lot of us think meditation is just to sit there and just not be thinking about anything and just empty your mind.
As if it's possible.
As if that's possible. And well, they even said it is possible to empty your mind. But do you really want your mind to be empty, or do you want to process things?
True. Because what purpose is the mind serving?
Exactly.
Because then if it's actually something beneficial, you don't want it to shut up.
Yeah, maybe you don't want it. Listen to your mind. What is it talking about? Why is your mind saying these things? You understand? Rather than shut it off and then be like, yes, I've reached the ultimate stage of enlightenment by not listening to yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, and then the magician guy, because I listen to both perspectives. The magician guy, the magical fishbowl head guy, he was saying, meditation is linked to manifestation, where it's not that you empty your mind either, it's just you keep your mind focused on one central theme. So say I want a car,
right?
I keep my mind focused on that car. I don't think about any negative things. I don't think about anything that will take that car away from me. I see myself in the car. I see myself driving the car. I see the car in my parking lot. You understand? And you just continue meditating on that. And that's how you manifest things in your life.
I think one of the first signs is that same synchronicity thing where it's like you think about a car you'd want and then all of a sudden you start seeing it everywhere.
Yeah,
definitely. That's true. I think that would be the start. Yeah, good point.
Well, overall, it's really, really a good series. I recommend anybody to watch it. Even if you're not going to make any changes, just so I can say.
Well, yeah, good point.
But it's good to at least have the knowledge.
Yeah, let's not talk about the end, because technically it's kind of open-ended. And we did say spoiler alert at this time, but still, like, let's not, because I don't really know what the end is.
The end is up to your interpretation.
Pretty much.
But, like Inception.
I guess so. But yeah, honestly though, I really can't get over like how relatable the show really is, because it's like, it's not as if, I mean, sure, maybe you're not necessarily a fan of like spiritual stuff, right? Maybe you just want like advice about something happening in your life or whatever. But to me, I feel like when you see how he was given answers, not using it, then the computer, even on like its last dying quote unquote breath, what the computers have, like
quote unquote
RAM, last RAM, last megabyte of RAM. It was like, yo, I'm gonna send it to this guy, and he went to him, as the David guy with the same meditation stuff, and the way he was resisting him was so rude, but relatable. You know what I mean? Like, you always seem to shit on the people who can help you the most, or who can help you the best, or who are just there to help you. But you're just deciding like, no, I'm resisting all of this. I want to stay stuck in my ways, which again, very human.
Yep.
But, once you just try what they're saying, you see the difference. It's like a snowball effect right after that. Life gets better.
That's true.
So, yeah. I have nothing else to say right now.
Yeah.
I have nothing else to say.
I think that's it about the show. I think, again, we should all watch it. I'm actually watching it again, because to me it's that good.
I probably won't watch it until several months from now. I need to like breeze it, and then come back, and then I'll be like, yeah, okay, you know what? Sure. It's time again. It's time to like, after living life some more, let me let me see what's going on and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so you want to end it there?
Yeah, okay.
All right, cool. All right, guys. You can send in questions because we'd love to just answer them because we need content. But yeah, we also just like answering questions.
Yeah, voice your concerns, any topic you want us to talk about.
Right. What's your handle again?
Which one?
The one that they can get you at for the questions.
Well, I think for now, so you can just DM me on Instagram at KingPanda_876.
Okay. I'm at Alchemist Joe. More than likely I'll have to spell that at on IG and Twitter and probably everything. So yeah. But that's it. Episode 1, Wasted Wisdom. It's a wrap. Thanks for listening. Thanks for giving a shit. We'll see you next time.
Take care.